saw it on video. And I was like, huh.
You
Let's
saw
see
it on
this.
video, right? And we're
And I was like,
live.
this is good.
This is good. So now we're back on a time machine. I know last time we talked about the movie from 1960, and this
Yeah.
is done in 2002. So 40 years
2002.
later, we have a remake.
Yeah.
And I must say, this was pretty good when I watched
This
it
is
the
this is
the
pretty good.
second
And like I
time.
said, like I was telling you, I didn't see it at the theater. I just happened to come across it probably in the box, and I like time, so I was like, "Huh, I can get this." And it had Guy Pearce,
Yes, Guy Pearce. This
and I
must
think
be
I
my
can't remember what
first Guy
else
Pearce movie.
must be, but I remember seeing him something else. I mean, oh, L.A. Confidential.
Oh, I never seen that movie.
Bet you I saw that. Oh, good. And well, anyway, I saw it. I thought, well, this got to be something. So I got it. It was good. It's basically now that we've seen the Time Machine, which is sad that I saw this before I saw 1960s Time Machine.
Oh,
But
okay.
to me, this is more of a remake of the movie than the book.
This is more of a movie of the remake of
Yeah,
the movie
this
than the
movie
book.
is a
Okay.
remake of the first movie.
Okay.
The first one followed the book. This one followed that movie and fixed a lot of things.
Oh.
It basically takes the whole premise basically is pretty much just improved. This is like watching Time Machine 1960s HD.
Oh, you know what? No, that's a good way to put it. You're right, because I still
Yeah,
like the
it's
both
just
of them.
because we still see a lot of the same rooms, but they've improved. The Time Machine's basically a chair you sit in,
Yep.
but improved.
Yeah, the machine's
Everybody's the
improved.
same. The thing is, the difference is now, when we start off, the difference is real quick is they're in New York,
Yes.
while the other one's in London. They're around
Yeah.
the same time. This is before the turn of the century. That he builds a time machine, but they added some more characters for him.
Yes.
They gave him a new name too.
Yeah.
Because in the other one he's H.G. Wells. This one he's Hardigan.
Hardigan,
He's
yes.
a teacher of
He's a
applied
professor.
mechanics.
Yes.
Yeah, professor of applied mechanics at Columbia University.
Science teacher.
And Philby is a teacher too.
He's a teacher too. Yes, he's his teacher.
Is it his teacher?
Yeah, because they make a scene. They talk about like his student. Philby talk about like
Well, I
one
think
of my
they're both-
students. Yeah.
Yeah, they're both teachers. Yeah,
Yes.
they're both teachers.
But then he's a young teacher, yeah, because he has that innovative, like, new age mind.
Yeah, and the movie starts off. I like how the movie starts off because you start off going through the halls of you see the students' reaction.
Yes.
But you don't know who they're reacting to.
Yeah, but now you come
the
across
guy-
as Philby.
I like it because it's mainly just showing the time. It's showing you a little bit of time. He's going through the deal and it comes to the room. It says applied mechanics. Walks in there. Of course, then we see the time traveler. Alex Hardigan is his name.
Yes.
Alexander.
Alexander Hardigan, yeah.
And of course, we see him, and then we see Philby. Philby was the one we saw everybody running.
Yeah,
away
because
from.
I guess he's like a prestige professor. That's why, like,
And
yep.
of course, the first thing he goes, "Hey, you're late. You're late." Because
Yeah, I know.
just doing all this stuff. He goes, "Oh yeah."
No,
He's
are you
just late,
forgetting
and
something?
like,
He's like, oh, am I forgetting this kind of formula? He's like, no.
yeah,
Emma.
No. He goes, "Yeah," and he's trying to figure it out. Yeah, Emma. So now we get introduced. This guy's got a girlfriend.
Yes.
He's kind of like an absent-minded professor,
Yes.
which is neat. So he has to leave. They leave and they go back towards his house.
Yes.
They go
To
back
get
to his
cleaned
house.
up, because
Like
lady.
Like he says, he needs to clean up, but I like it. She goes, well, yeah. Well, it shows the
housekeeper.
housemaid.
Yeah.
It's the same name as the one in the other movie too.
Yes.
Which I like her character.
It's just his name's been changed.
Yeah, just his name's been changed. But of course, we don't have all the guys showing up at his house.
No, it's
Philby
very
is
simple
the
in the
guy
beginning. Yeah.
From the other movie that shows up.
It's not a big dinner party. He's just going to go out on a date.
We
I'm
find out
assuming.
he's actually got to go talk to this girl that he's going to get engaged because
Yes,
of course
they-
he's
yeah.
getting a ring, and of course I like the lady. She goes, yeah, the smell of chalk. I'm sure she's going to fight some.
Because she pats him, right? And then the dust of chalk comes off his clothes.
Yeah, it's not. Well, she makes him change clothes. But here's the neat thing, because we also going to get an idea of his background, because he goes into that room where he's got a big old shop.
Oh, yes.
With a banner. Remember he has that toothbrush that moves back and forth? He goes,
Yes.
oh, it'll help you keep your teeth way into your 40s. I was
Yes.
like, what?
Well, because people forget, like, I remember learning that in history, like, they didn't use toothbrushes back then. Like, a lot of people were wearing, like,
A lot of people didn't
dentures.
use toothbrushes.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
used...
a lot of people. I mean, yeah. Unfortunately, people didn't take care of the teeth.
No.
I mean, there's various ways, and we're lucky.
Yes, we are. Look at us. We can still eat really well.
I don't want dentures. But I like it. He's going around because when they're walking back, I like the thing is they get off a trolley and he's talking about his students. They're both talking about the students.
Yes.
He's like, and you should see all these people in New York, just tons of people, all wearing bowler hats.
Yes, I love that.
I would like a bowler hat too, but I like it. He goes, I want to challenge my students.
Yes.
And of course, Philby's like, well, I'm preparing my students for what's ahead. And he goes, no. He goes, I don't want them to be another bowler hat wearing person. He goes, I want them to walk down the street and knock everybody's bowler hats off.
Because he's the only one that's not wearing a hat. He has the long hair.
Yeah, because he's trying to show that he thinks differently than
he does.
Else.
He thinks
everybody
differently.
Else is like a sheep.
And that's the thing, because Philby was making fun of Einstein, and then he wasn't.
Exactly, because they comes in the office and is like, yeah, I don't know why you talk to that weird little man.
Yeah, the bookkeeper.
Course, here's the neat thing: if you want to see a side movie, there's a movie called Einstein that you can go watch.
Really?
It's a miniseries.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You didn't see it? It's directed by Ron Howard.
Oh no!
Genius, Einstein. They made several series, but yeah, and it's actually pretty good. And he starts off as he's a bookkeeper too. So and he really wasn't.
He was a bookkeeper, yeah.
He was talking to a bookkeeper in Germany, and it turns out it's Einstein, who has the theory on relativity, which is actually about time travel.
Yes.
So.
Because everybody thinks it's silly.
I like it. It's kind of silly. They think it's silly, and of course, Philby's messing with this stuff. I like it when he tells Philby something. He goes, "No, I'm all bowler hat."
Yes.
And he hits that button, and that dog's urinating.
I'm a bowler hat.
And of course, Harnigan gets his new. They're just trying to establish everything. And of course, he runs out the door, and of course, the lady, his maid.
Yeah, the maid.
Holds her hand out, is waiting on him to come back, and he comes back to get the ring.
Yeah, get the ring, yeah, because he forgets stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course, next scene is him running to
the park, yeah, to Central Park.
And he runs across a guy driving a car.
Driving a car, I love that scene. Because, he is so interested in machinery.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he just stops. Well, no, he's actually supposed to buy flowers. We're going to go back to this.
Yeah. That's how you got the car,
it's amazing how much things that he does is important to the story.
Yes.
But yeah, he goes, oh, yeah, he does want the flowers. And he goes, oh, I promised her flowers. He goes back to try to get flowers, sees the car.
I know, I guess it's 1899, so it's a new thing, right? Like automobiles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cars won't come along. Nobody can even afford a car. You have to be in a special club to have cars. And most people, there's like a club, and the club claim to own the patent to all the cars.
Okay.
Eventually, time will come along, and Ford will challenge this guy that owns the patent.
Oh, okay.
And then give a car to everybody.
But Ford is my hero.
Ford is like gave the finger to whoever and made cars.
Oh, like Tesla, like Elon Musk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ford was kind of like that. There was a lot of those guys back then.
Yeah. Everyone should be able to have a car.
Edison was like that. Gave a finger to a lot of people and says, hey, everyone's going to have electricity. Get over it. And so, anyways, this guy, the funny thing is the car almost takes off, and it grabs that brake.
Yeah, he grabs that brake, because you know how it works.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, because a horse carriage looks just like that. You sit on your brakes up here, and it's all.
So they make it like that.
Yeah, if it had horses, if you're sitting on there, you pull this thing, there's a brake on it.
Oh.
I don't know if you know that or not.
Oh, I do. I'm familiar.
That would have been normal to anybody of that time.
Yeah.
So the brake was still in spot, because basically that car looks like a sleigh. Who knows?
Yes.
It may have been an Oldsmobile.
Oh, okay.
Because there was an Oldsmobile at the time. Who knows? That's the car I've never seen.
Yes.
But then, of course, he looks at the car. Oh, I got to gauge it. So he goes on in the park. And they're all ice skating. He meets Emma. She's got the hat on. Of course, we already know what he thinks about hats.
Yes.
But of course, he's all.
He said he's all into it. Like, no, I like it. It's different.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. And of course, she's like, "You're forgetting something." He goes, "What?" She goes, "You promised me flowers."
Yes, he's like, "Oh, he was sidetracked," but she saw that coming anyway.
Nervous. He's so nervous, so he takes her off away from everybody else looking at him. They walk down the path, and then of course she's like, "I hope you're not sick or anything." He goes, "I am sick. I think I'll never be well again." He goes, "I can't think, can't eat." And so, of course, he goes, and he kind of rambles on with, "If you'll marry me." And she gets surprised, and he pulls out a ring. Here's the neat thing about the ring: it's a birthstone.
Yeah, it's a birthstone. Yeah.
The moonstone.
Oh, that's right. It's
awesome?
a big thing to the movie. Yes.
Oh yes, and of course, here comes the robber.
Yep.
I don't get it. What's up with New York and robbing?
You still don't walk at night in the park, man. You just don't do it, okay?
They should let everybody have a gun in New York. You don't have a problem.
That's how you market it. I don't see this problem in Texas at all.
Hey, do you get robbed in Dallas?
Really rarely. People still do.
You get robbed in Houston.
Oh no, Houston is
I mean, which
even worse.
city is known for getting mugged?
Isn't it Houston? Oh,
No,
you talk about
the
New
United
York? Yeah,
States you
yeah.
get mugged in is
I
New
thought you
York
talk about
State.
Dallas and Houston.
No,
Okay, yeah.
I'm talking about Texas. What city out of the United States do you get mugged the most in?
It's always New York because it's the media, you know.
No, because you can't have a gun there.
Because you can have a gun there, yeah. Well, pretty soon, I think next month, you don't even need a concealed handgun license, right, in Texas.
Yeah,
Oh.
people are gonna get shot left and right.
Yeah, like, what is the point?
I mean, there's far enough, and then there's too far.
So, since we talk about guns, right, that Robert have a gun, like, it was a really small one. I'm not familiar with that. Is that what
I don't remember. It looked like it had a cylinder. I don't know if it may have been it didn't look like a Derringer to me. It looked like a bigger gun. I think it's like a Smith & Wesson Bulldog or something.
Oh, okay.
Or a European gun. But anyhow, it didn't make sense because, okay, he tells him, oh, this is your bump on the road. Maybe, sweetie, he'll buy you a
diamond now, yeah.
Which he's not getting. He don't care. But he takes the guy's wallet, and then he wants that diamond. Then they fight over the diamond, and he shoots her. By accident, but he shoots her, okay? And then, of course, what's he say? Why'd you do that for? It's only a diamond.
Yeah, it's only a ring.
It makes it their fault.
Yeah, I know. What a jerk. I know.
But no, it makes it... She dies right there on the snow. And it's his fault. But it's like it's no big deal. To him, it's no big deal. It's their fault that he accidentally shot her.
Yep.
I'm like, that is bull crap.
Yep.
But anyhow, then we go on. What is it?
This sets the whole question of the whole movie.
Well, this is what creates the time machine.
Yep.
This is the only reason the time machine exists. Because we go 4 years forward, and of course we see him working in a shop. Man, the shop has nothing but. I mean, I don't know if you know a lot of machine. You see machinery. This is what I like about this, because in the old movie, he has that time machine, but the's no tools in the shop. Really.
Yeah. He's been working for everything.
This shop has all kinds of machinery making tools. You see, what do you call them?
Equations. So he was.
Mars,
yeah.
Which are batteries. You see all kinds of batteries, glass, everything. I mean, plus this guy's background is the build stuff.
Yeah. Engineer, right?
Yeah, he's a type of engineer. And plus he's got all kinds of electricity stuff in his shop. I mean, it's amazing.
And he's been talking with Einstein. Like, you get that really quick, yeah.
He's talking to Einstein, but the thing is, with the gear he has in his shop, you can build an Iron Man suit.
Oh, back from the 18... Well, not 18... I guess it's the start of the 20th century.
He could build a steampunk star. But anyways, of course, here comes Philby. Philby, that's when we learned that he's been in that shop for 4 years.
For 4 years.
And Philby's like, hey, I came every day, and then I stopped coming. See if you care, you noticed, and you didn't. And he goes, and that hurt me. He goes, right now I demand you to come home with me and my wife and Jamie, and he's like, no, I kind of like it because he starts to tell him, because I'll see you next week at dinner.
It's a focus.
We'll all get together, and of course he goes, you come home. He goes, did you not hear me?
Yeah, it was getting tough love, man.
Yeah, I know. And I don't like it. He apologized, and he goes, and this is the thing. I like it in a way because he doesn't actually understand time travel yet.
No, he doesn't.
Because I like it when he goes, I'll come home with you. And, of course, Philby walks out and he goes, because the next week, we're never going to have this conversation.
Yes.
But by time travel rules, you're going to have this conversation.
Over and over, yeah.
Oh,
because in his mind, he's thinking he's going to save her.
Yeah. Well, funny thing is, even the people who wrote the movie didn't get it. There's a mistake in here, and we're going to get to it.
Oh.
So he gets in the time machine, and we see him use it. Problem is, he goes back right before he leaves.
Yes.
He's probably cut back before he shows up at the house to get the ring and leave. So he pops in. But here's the funny thing is, if he comes in and was to walk too far, he's going to see the time machine sitting in the old him. We're going to call the first one is Prime. Secondary him will see the time machine.
Yeah, the
problem is there's two of him in this timeline.
In this timeline, yes.
And he knows there's two of them in his time. We could tell that because he goes to the park and gets her out of there, so they don't run into him.
Well, I thought that he didn't want to get to the park to get away from the robber.
The robber and him.
Okay.
Because he's going to show up at that park
at
a certain time, so he has to get her out of there.
And he told her to go home.
Yeah, he gets her out, tells her to go home. Plus, she goes, well, I need flowers. He goes, okay. So they go walking down the street in New York. and he decides he's going to go get her flyers, and they finally see a shop. And here's the neat thing: he goes in the flower shop to get her flyers. The guy that's the florist,
Yeah.
it's Philby from the 1960s.
Oh, no way! Oh, that's
Exactly.
cool.
And of course, though, he tells her though before he gets the flyers, he tells her, "You're going to go home. You're going to wait for me there.
Yeah.
I'm going to show up. I'm going to act crazy."
Yes, because that's a different one. Yes, that's the prime.
He knows. But here's the funny thing: he thinks he saved her, and I guess he thinks he's going to go get on his time machine, go
And
back
go
to
back.
his time,
Yeah.
and everything be okay. No, that's not how time travel works.
Yes.
From this time period he's in, because this is not Marvel, he can only go forward in it now.
Yes.
He created an alternate time.
Like the Back to the Future 2 rules.
He created another timeline because he went backwards, and he can only go forward in this timeline now. So if he's to go forward, there'll still be two of him in there. That, like, say she went home and waited for him with the old him. The secondary
at the same time,
marry her, and then the prime would be in the same timeline and be unhappy.
He's thinking that he can go back to his same location from where he's from.
Yep. And as far as the prime line he came from, as far as Philby's concerned,
It's gone.
he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yep.
The secondary is gone.
Yep.
I'm so glad you brought that up because,
So
like,
the secondary will never have to build a time machine.
so the way I saw that on just on this scene, right? Because you know, he should get run over by the carriage, okay? And then they go to the morgue or wherever they go, you know, the hospital part, right? And he tells Philby, like, it doesn't matter, like, it's not supposed to happen. I could come back 1,000 times. I see her die 1,000 times. And I think he's trying to figure out, like, the question stands is, how come I can't save her? How come I can't save Emma? That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to change the past. But they never talk about, like, that would benefit his future.
Yeah.
It's not like Back to the Future. This movie is really different. Like, all he wanted to do is save his loved one. And that's really it. He never thought about his
And
future.
the thing is, if he went back another time, he probably could have eventually saved her. What good would it do him? Because
It won't do good
be
him.
another
Yeah.
him in that time.
Yeah.
He would have. What's going to do? Murder his hell?
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
He becomes the villain in his own timeline, in another
Yes.
timeline. But here's the question: is though, so he's going to go jumps in his time machine, goes forward in this timeline. But there's already a him in this timeline.
Yes.
Did that guy build a time machine and leave too eventually?
Yeah, yeah, see, you won't know exactly, yeah.
It's weird.
I didn't think about that when I was watching this movie.
It's going to be weird for Philby to try to ask questions because he's going to come in again and wonder what happened to the girl. And Philby's going to be like, we just talked about it.
Right. So he didn't even care about the double app.
He doesn't know.
No, he doesn't know. He just
doesn't
want to
know.
see why he can save his Emma by going further into the future because he thinks that technology would have gone a lot better than, you know, his current time.
So what do you think about this time machine?
Oh, with the questions that you rose, right?
No. What about the time? Yeah, go ahead. Tell me.
Oh, I love it. I love this time machine.
It's pretty cool.
It's a huge upgrade. Yes. Like,
yeah.
It's kind of like if we make Back to the Future, right? Like, I have to accept that the DeLorean is going to look way better, and they did it in this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's still the same design. Like, you still have to sit in a chair. You still have to turn the knob.
But
the
it floats,
gears are still
too.
there. Yes.
It makes a little bit more sense.
So just in case there's no ground, so it floats. Yes.
Yeah.
Everything worked for me. Yeah, everything worked for me.
I think it makes it makes like
A protection,
warp
like a
bubble.
bubble.
A warp bubble, and the warp bubble floats on whatever it's on, so
Yep.
it's touching the ground.
Yeah, like it's
The main thing is you can
upgrade.
actually reach out of the deal, but it's neat because he starts the machine again, and it's like the old movie. We see the skirts in the deal go.
That's a little part.
You
Yeah,
can see across the street now.
yeah,
The old movie was like, how is he seeing this?
Yeah.
Now we know
because it's
set up
floating.
across the street where he can see because he sees the garage on the other side. The cars going in and out, and the cars change.
Yeah.
Everything changes. Plus, he drops the necklace of Emma.
Oh yes, and then you can turn how fast like it gets welded and rotted.
Well, the neat thing is you got to think about this. The picture welded up, but it disappears.
Yes.
So somebody probably picked it up
Yes, somebody picked it up.
because there's people moving around. Yeah.
Yes.
You got to remember there's people moving around because the building changes. It falls apart. Then we see the skyscraper and we see all the airplanes change. I mean, this is a good shot in a way.
No, it was. It's a lot
All
better.
the way. And then when he stops the machine, he's in, what was he at?
2030, May 24th, 2030.
Okay, it was 2030. Okay, because it's 7 years next, right?
Yes.
And he gets out. I like it. Gets out. The machine walks up there.
To go to the
And of course,
library.
yeah, no, yeah. He goes. Well, first he sees that girl with the
Oh,
bike.
with a bike, yeah, with a lock.
Everybody's riding bikes, and the girl's got the clothes you can almost see through. I'm sure
You
he's
know what's
like,
really funny? Some of the clothes is like that now. Like the women's tracking pants, they have a part where like it's like a mesh, and I was like, whoa,
we're getting here, Mash.
yeah.
Okay, you're right. You know what? It is almost 2030, right? And the clothing is. I'm surprised that it actually match up because like Target and I guess a whole bunch of these places, right, have these ladies' leggings or workout clothes where they have that mesh.
Where you see the mesh, yeah, it's a thing. And plus, the bikes haven't changed that much. They
No.
didn't go all crazy yet,
No.
but they are a little more in the future than we are. But I want to point out this is the neat thing. Okay, the lady in the mesh.
Yeah.
She is married in real life to the actor who was driving the car in the 1800s. Remember the actor who drives that car that stops?
Yes.
She's married to him in real life.
No way.
But here's even more awesome. The actor who's driving that car that she's married to, he is actually in WandaVision.
Really?
He's the director of Sword.
Oh my God, that is the same guy.
That is the guy. So MCU, man.
It's just wow, these actors.
This is
Holy crap!
pretty neat.
I love that you bring up these kind of trivia stuff. You know that really trips me up sometimes.
And the funny thing is, I almost forgot about it though. That's the thing. Almost forgot about it.
Wow, I can't believe you forgot about it. Why would you do that, huh?
Oh well, I just thought it was interesting. But yeah, they're married in real life. So, and he's actually he's his Sword. So.
Yeah. He
So
plays
pretty
an
cool.
a-hole.
So this guy's in the future, and he's looking around, and now, of course, her saying is she looks at his time machine, which is awesome.
Yeah, which is awesome.
She goes, "But that makes a mean cappuccino."
Yeah.
Well, she also comments on his clothes, which actually wearing clothes like that really wouldn't be that weird because so many people dress steampunk and stuff.
Yeah, but they didn't know that at the time, though.
Yeah, they didn't know at the time, but nowadays, I mean, it would be normal in the 2030s to see somebody dressed like that because they'd be just doing that.
I thought you were just like, I thought you were just going to a convention or something. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. But anyway, so he gets out, and walks around the town. We see all kinds of cool stuff.
Yep, kind of like it reminds you of Back to the Future, but
yes,
yeah,
it does. It reminds me a lot about Back to the Future. Man, think if they made it Back to the Future now.
Yeah, that's what they would.
They're not going to. I don't really want them to.
They can't. They like the science wouldn't make sense, right? And people like me and you would be pissed off.
Yeah, it's just gonna. It stands. Yeah. I'm gonna let it stand.
I mean, like I could complain about the time machine this whole time.
Did you let your kids watch Back to the Future yet?
No.
No.
Not yet. Shh. I don't know what you let them watch yet, because the YouTube is around, right? It is really tough.
It's just maybe it's something they're not interested in. You think?
I don't think so.
Well, I know, like my niece and nephew, they don't seem to really be interested in that.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like asked them, "Hey, did you see these Marvel movies?" It's like my nephew saw Black Panther. Oh, that's so cool. And I was like, "So you saw Iron Man too?" No. Do you want to watch Iron Man? No.
Really?
I'm like, what?
Ryan really loves Iron Man. He likes Black Panther too. Like all those Marvel movies, they love because we want to see Black Widow, and it was great.
I mean, because basically you better watch Star Wars #4 now, or it's just not going to look good.
They're not going to look good. They're not. It might be. It probably will be very boring to them.
I think it would.
Yeah.
It's very boring.
Because at that time, right, we don't have the technology we do now.
Yeah.
Star Wars was way ahead of this time. Okay. And like this time machine, like the way that they updated it, right, it still look good in 2021 to me.
Yeah, you're right. It still looks really good.
But we can't cut. That's why, like, if you watch Back to the Future, right, like they used to seeing like, oh my God, the Vulture from Spider-Man. We're going to talk about Michael Keaton a lot, and then you see Back to the Future, it's not that impressive.
Yeah, you're right. I think it has a lot to do with where you set stuff and the costuming you do.
Yes.
Because I think this Time Machine movie will last a lot longer.
Yeah, it will. Because like this is the one that we want to talk about, right? Is time is one line.
Yeah.
On this
plus, I mean, basically, in any time you get in, the future is going to look like, because our future's so far ahead, it can look like anything. In the past, it's always going to look like the past.
Yes, that's the easy thing to do.
It's just when you show the future, then that's when you get out of it. So.
Yeah. The past,
unless you just show them something. Unless you show a future that you want.
And it's really funny, like the science shows that it's actually easier to go into the future than going back to the past.
Yeah.
right? That's the no, I wouldn't say argument. That's just the math that is showing out right now.
Well, yeah. Usually, if you make a movie now and you have it set way back in the past, it's gonna last longer because
I
as long as
in,
you get the costuming right.
I thought about something dumb this week, right? Like I thought about shooting a YouTube video, calling like, "Hey, you want to see me time travel into the future?" Just basically a video of me walking around the house. That's what I get. Like I'm walking into the future.
You just put the time at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everything I do right now, we're time traveling because we're into the future. It's just not the time travel you expected.
Yeah. Well, some people just get angry because they don't get time travel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you wasted 1 minute listening to us.
Yeah.
But your time travel, hey, you're 1 minute in the future.
1 minute in the future.
1 minute closer to the show being over.
The way that you could travel back into the past, right? If you watch this video right now, way back, like 5 years from now, and you found this video, that's why, like, oh my god, I'm time traveling.
Yeah,
into the past in my living room watching this video. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're seeing a window into the past.
Yes, you're watching a window from the past.
Welcome, time traveler.
Yes, thank you for being here with us today. Talk about the time machine from 2002.
Yeah, I mean, I know I don't know what time you're watching this from, but I hope they have flying cars, unlace up Nikes, and anything else that we haven't thought of. Jetpacks all over the place.
And people are talking like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Let's not Nikes. That's from Back to the Future too.
Yeah.
And you're pissing me off.
Stupid sunglasses either. The triangle.
All right, so let's go back to the time machine. So
I hope you have hydrated pizza too.
So he goes to the library.
Yeah, he goes to the library.
Yeah, library, right?
This is so cool. This is like one of the coolest things in this movie.
And you know what's really cool that I saw? This movie is 2002, right? Those children looks like they were using like iPads or tablets.
Yeah, well, that's not really a stretch because in Star Trek they're already using tablets.
Oh yeah, you're right. The next generation.
Actually, they had them in the original series. They had these little glass things they look at. So
it is
tablets,
very cool.
I guess, was always going to be here anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be here. Just a handheld computer. That's what it is.
Yeah, of course, that one kid's getting a fight where the teacher goes, "Hey, you better behave, or I'm going to rearrange your DNA."
Yeah, we just.
I'm like, can they do that, or is she just making a threat, empty threat?
It's just an empty threat to a kid, right? That's what I took it as too.
But I like it though. He looks around, and there's all these glass things going all around the.
Yes, it's a virtual assistant. That was really cool.
Yeah, Vox.
Yeah, that was our first introduction to Vox.
Which actually, he's photonic.
Oh yes.
Which is neat because I'm just saying that because if you watch Star Trek Voyager, the Doctor was a holographic system on the Enterprise. Well, not the Voyager, Starship Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
Their Doctor gets killed on the ship, so they have to operate this special program.
Whoa.
And a Doctor appears who's photonic on the ship. It uses the same technology they use in their holodeck, so he can actually use force fields. It makes it look like there's guys, but he actually uses force fields to do all the touching. And he actually is your doctor until you get a real doctor to replace him.
Whoa.
And they even had a show where there's a photonic universe. So these people don't know how to mess with matter people.
Wow.
Cool.
No, it sounds pretty cool. I mean, just the idea of it blows my mind.
But anyhow, this one...
It's just a librarian.
This is actually artificial... Well, I say it's beyond artificial intelligence.
Right, because he has memory and he can he makes facial expressions like a real person.
Yeah, makes facial expressions. I mean, by that time, I think we might be somewhere near that deal.
And you know what's really cool about this assistant though? Like, cause Guy Pearce, right, or Alex want to know about time travel. So he talked about applied physics and all that stuff, right? And the Vox system was able to conclude like, you're going to ask me about time travel? Let's go to science fiction.
Basically, it works just like a computer from our time. It just has the...
interaction.
The sarcasm, yeah. It's got all the interactions that act like a person.
Yes.
Because he's kind of doing the annoying thing. Because apparently, and it probably may, let's say the system is real, it may act sarcastic because by the 2030s, time travel is not popular.
No, it's not. I guess it's not possible. I can't see why it
wouldn't be.
Because the reason why he stopped at 2030, he thought science was far enough ahead, right? Where they probably figure out time travel by now, and because he wanted to ask that question, how come I can't change the past?
Yeah, how can I change the past? But I like the way he says one can't travel into the past.
What if one can?
He cannot. Or
But
one
what if one
cannot.
can though? Because like now it sounds like they're having an argument of science
know.
fiction.
They are having an argument, and the machine's probably thinking, if it's not in my system, it's impossible.
Yes.
But of course, I like it how it names him too.
Yeah.
Alexander Hardikin. He has crazy ideas about time travel. Disappeared in 1903. Was it?
Yeah, 1903. 4 years later from 1899. Yes.
Yeah. So he disappears, and I like it how he says that. And he goes, "Trust." He goes, "You got to trust me on this."
Yes.
First, the machine wants to argue, so he gets upset a little bit and just walks out. As he's walking out, he pops up the door. Is there anything else I can help you with?
Yes. Yeah.
Who was the actor who played that?
Orlando Jones.
Yeah, Orlando Jones.
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in that many movies. I remember he was in Biker Boys.
He wasn't on Mad TV. That's how I know him.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I mean, obviously he was on Def Comedy Jam. I've seen that too.
Yeah, I saw him in Biker Boys.
I've never seen Biker Boys.
Yeah, it was pretty.
I mean, like he's in a lot of other movies, but they're like comedic because he's a comedy background. But this is his serious role. Yeah, this is a serious role.
Yeah, he was a serious role in Biker Boys. So.
Oh, I mean, this is a serious role too.
Yeah, this is a serious role too. I mean, because he plays the computer, and I like it.
And it brings he's an important, I guess, character in the movie.
Yeah, he's a very important character in this movie.
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah, he is an important deal because he is a direction system. But
yes.
Anyways, I like it when Hardigan leaves. You hear it. He puts his
No, the Star Trek thing. Yes.
And then you hear the doors of the turbo lift.
Yes.
Slide open and close.
Wow.
Oh, that's so cool.
And I didn't write any notes, right? I know he goes more forward into 2050.
Well, he only goes 7 years forward. Yeah,
7 years forward. Yeah.
Machine. He goes. Well, the only reason he starts to move, and all of a sudden his machine shakes, and then he almost falls out of the machine. And he shuts that machine down, and you see the moon.
The moon is.
Remember,
crushed.
he gave his fiance the moonstone.
Yes.
And the moon blows up.
The
of
moon
course,
blows
he says
up.
the same line because remember, there's this line when he was in his before he's building the time machine, before he goes to meet Emma.
Yeah.
Where his friend looks at that book with all the highways and all the stuff, and he goes, "We're going to go too far one day."
Yes.
And of course, he looks at the moon; it's already blown up, and he goes, "He was right. Philby was right. We did go too far."
Yep. Did they explain how the moon exploded? I forgot.
Yeah, it does say the moon because we actually saw it because when he first starts in 3000, he watches that big TV and they go on the moon. They're going to build a moon colony and they're going to have underground deals with golfing and stuff.
Yeah.
So now the moon explodes and he's when those police show up to catch him, they're like, "This is martial law. We're going to arrest you." He's like, "What happened?" They go, "You've been living on the rock." He goes, "Yes, I've been living under a rock." And what happens? They go, "Well, when they're doing the explosive charges for the moon colony, they went too deep and they miscalculated and they blew the moon in half."
Oh, I like that though. Like when the moon was exploded, right? Parts of it was still illuminating, even though it's not together.
Well, I mean, if the moon was to break up, it's just going to be a bunch of giant meteors. If any of them strike the Earth, they're going to wipe it out. Almost.
Yeah.
But the problem is, you also got to remember the moon moves the oceans and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in their ideas, because in the old time machine, remember there's that nuclear war and they have all these earthquake stuff. Well, if the moon blew up and all those things are moving, it may actually cause
the water to shift. Yes.
Well, it also caused earthquakes too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It put pressure on different plates, and then you cause earthquakes and volcanoes. Wow. So apparently, when he jumps back on his time machine, gets away from them. But you got to remember, these guys that we're seeing right here that try to arrest him.
Yep.
These are the ancestors of the Morlocks.
Are they?
They have to be because they're going to go underground.
That's right. They're going to go underground.
Yeah, they already have big old giant tunnels and stuff all dug for everybody to go underground and live.
Whoa.
It's probably the Boring Company.
Yeah.
Dug all those tunnels.
So is that when he go way into the 800,000 year now?
Yeah. He jumps on the time machine. I think something hit him.
Yeah.
And he goes forward, and it goes all the way forward, and we see all of it. Now, it's pretty neat because it shows him moving on the land. Because remember, he's in New York. He's sliding around. I guess when it stops, I forgot. It just stops, and he wakes up. It shows him he falls out of the machine or something gets hurt.
That's the part they followed the same, like 802,000, like 356. Yeah.
Way
into the future.
Of course, it gets wrapped up by these people.
Which is a lot better than the last one. They're not all blonde, right?
It makes a little more sense.
I was going to point that out to you. It makes more sense that every one of them are more tan now.
Well,
right?
yeah. Well, that's not the only thing that makes sense. They're not speaking English.
They're not speaking English. Yes, that's the big
Well,
thing.
some of them can speak English. We'll find out why, and they have a good reason why they can speak English.
Yep.
But everything makes more sense. They don't just sit around and stuff.
Yeah.
These people are actually more native. Everybody's turned native again. So you got all these native people that's probably mixed over hundreds of years, and they kind of live off a cliff
Yes.
because something hunts them.
Yes.
So they live off the sides of a cliff, which is neat.
It's safe.
And then we
I
meet
guess.
the new people. And I forgot what was her name.
It's not
'Cause
Evie.
They give her a different name.
They
don't
give her a
the
different name. I can't remember because
Yeah, she don't have the name from the
Sue
book.
was the teacher,
Yeah, she was a teacher.
but I can't remember her name right now.
But anyways, they wrapped him up, and he hears voices, and they're always speaking.
Oh, that's right. They wrapped him up because he was injured.
Yeah, he injured. Well, yeah, because like in the first movie, he falls off the machine and injures his ribs and stuff.
Yes.
They wrap him up, and they
Mara.
What
Mara.
was her name?
Mara. Mara. Mara.
Yeah, Mara. So they changed her name from Weena to Mara,
Yeah.
which I'm cool with. And here's a neat thing. And she has a little brother. Okay,
Yes.
what's the little brother's name?
What is the little brother's name?
Should be at the bottom. I forgot what his name was. But anyhow, let's put it this way. Here's another interesting tidbit. In real life, they're brother and sister too.
Oh, is that really?
Yes.
Oh,
So
that's
it's like a lot of this is a family movie. Oh, I guess I might as well point this out. The director of the movie
yeah.
is the great grandson to H.G. Wells.
No, shut
Yes.
up.
No, man, it is.
Simon Wells? Holy crap.
Yep. He is the great grandson of H.G. Wells, who wrote the book, and he gets to direct it.
Wow.
So this is a whole family event.
It is. I mean, like, he did The Prince of Egypt. Oh, that was 98. That's not the Jake Gyllenhaal one. He didn't do a lot of movies, though.
No, his grandfather. I mean, maybe he'll do Invisible Man one day.
The boy's name is Kylan. Kylen.
Okay. Yeah, Kylan.
Kylan.
But anyways, they're brother and sister in real life, and they're brother and sister in this movie.
Huh.
Of course, he wakes up, and of course, all the town people want to see him, or the village people want to see him. Of
Yep.
course, he's talking, and they're all talking some foreign language.
Yeah, some foreign language.
Finally, she asked him, "Do you speak this language?"
Yes.
He's like, "Yeah." And I forgot what the language is called, but of the old people.
Yeah.
Of course,
The
all
language of
people
the ancestor. They were saying, yeah.
All those people were talking, and then she's just like, "Okay, see, they want to know all about you because they're thinking about throwing you in the water."
Yeah.
And then she starts talking all this stuff, and he looks at her. She looks at him, and she goes, "Okay." He goes, "What did you tell him?" "Well, I told him that you hit your head, and now you are a
Wandering idiot. Yes. That was a funny part. And then they were to accept that.
Yeah, they all accept it. Well, except for that one guy, that bald guy.
Yeah.
As he looks at him funny because he's not truly convinced that guy's an idiot.
An idiot.
It's probably because he's speaking the old language, and like they said, everybody spoke the old language, and then they forget it because they don't use it anymore. But he realizes they take him eventually to show him where the old language is, and they collect all the rocks of old English words.
Yeah, all the English words, like the signs from New York, like the subway system.
All the signs and stuff, and that's where they learn this old language.
I thought that was cool.
And Mara is actually a teacher of the old language.
Yes.
But I like it when they get in the boats because they're on a river and they fish. And these people take care of themselves.
Yes.
But they go missing because remember he asked her, "So
where's all the old people?"
Family?
Yeah.
They're gone from here. That's all she can say.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they say certain things because we find out later that the Morlock, the head Morlock, can read all your thoughts.
Yes.
So that's why you don't want to think about certain things and you don't want to see certain things. But she tells him the guns are, and then he's like, I like it when he goes, "So why do y'all bring the boats up? So you're afraid somebody's going to take them?" And they're like, "Yeah, we basically just bring them up." Of course, he gives Kalen his pocket watch.
Yes.
And he tells him about New York. Of course, I get where he goes to New York. He goes, "Are the people in New York friendly?" He goes, "Yeah, until you talk to them."
Yeah, I thought that was so funny.
Of course, nobody laughs because nobody gets the joke.
Because nobody gets the joke, yeah.
So,
wow.
So he's learned all that. And of course, he goes to sleep. They all got to go to bed that one night after he gave him the pocket watch. And that's when he has that nightmare where he's going through the jungle and he sees that big head like we see in the first movie.
like that. Yeah, the noise, yep.
Yeah, and of course somebody's calling his name. Yeah. Alexander. Apparently they know all your names. Of course, he wakes up.
Because they could read your mind.
Yeah, because there's one guy that controls you because you're his food.
Yep. That's
which is
creepy though. Like
weird.
they may update this movie majorly. Well, I like it. I mean,
Yes.
is it hard to compare now, like movie from the 1960 to 2002? Because we did reboots before, like we talk about RoboCop and
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
Is it because like the time has changed, like from 87 to
Well, I think because of
yeah.
the technology, yeah, they just got more money.
I forgot Michael Keaton was in that movie too. The RoboCop remake.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
Michael Keaton. Now we're just seeing all these movies, Michael Keaton movies.
I know. It just
But he wasn't in a time machine, so.
no, but I feel like it's not fair. But I feel like this remake was
But
actually
Batman's
pretty good.
Butler was.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm saying, like this remake was better than the original.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have been hard to beat the 1960s one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
But you
it's
gotta
hard
think
to-
for the time, for the 1961 for its time, it was top of the line.
Oh yeah, it was top of the line.
And
It's
I'm
the
thinking
effects.
For its time, this one for its time, it was top of the line too. It's just people just weren't interested. I
No.
mean, it's called the Time Machine. People are like, "Oh, that's an H.G. Wells." I don't want to see. It probably had a lot of competition at the box office, but I mean, it had good actors. Plus,
did.
I mean, the effects have evolved so much, and more money gets spent on movies that they got to give us what they probably wanted to do in the 1960s anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's something they could have dreamed of,
Oh, I know. Like even
That's
this
just money.
movie.
Because I remember it's like something I heard on Star Trek. Gene Roddenberry made Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
When they made the motion picture, one of the ladies who was the fan was on the movie, and he told that lady, he's like, if we could have got the money that they spent on this movie for the TV series, I could have gave you an amazing TV series.
Really?
It's just because so much more money.
Oh, it's so much more money on movies. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the amount of money that they spend on stuff, man, they could have made things. Because
you're right. Like nowadays, Marvel is changing that. The amount of money they spend on movies, right? They doing on Disney Plus.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it's.
I feel
But
even
plus
that way
it's
for
also-
Netflix series too.
It's also technology too.
Yeah, because it's cheaper.
Well, yeah, they make like futures or other alien planets. In the old Star Trek, like what we were talking, the old planets, they're on a stage and they put like weird plants and stuff out. And it's always like you never see the crew go that far from anything.
Yeah.
Now you watch like Star Wars. Man, look, you got a whole nother planet, especially when they get away from the sand planets, because I'm getting tired of seeing the sand. Too easy to make. But I mean, after watching The Mandalorian, we've seen so many other planets now.
Yeah.
That they slowly got away from what we've been used to.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, Disney is changing the game of TV shows.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of things are. And I mean, I'm thinking of the newest Star Treks, like Discovery and all them. They're not that far behind them.
No.
Because I watch Voyager and Enterprise, and you see the technology's changed because they can go on an alien planet now.
Yeah, it's that
It doesn't look like a sound stage
the adventure
with
is much more mass.
with big old giant plastic rocks.
Yes.
There's a lot of movies, space movies. The Martian, you see them all over Mars. I mean,
Wow.
things have changed.
Yeah, things have changed majorly.
But
I
with
agree.
computers, I mean, you get to see another world.
Yeah.
Finally.
Exactly. And then the actors, I feel like the actors are acting even much harder for objects that they cannot see.
I think that they're doing a lot more because they got a better idea of what to see.
Yeah. That would mean the doctor's like, well, we'll put this here, but basically the scene is
Yeah,
this.
because they're not sitting there acting with, oh, I'm on the soundstage where I can see 100 people standing around me with plastic rocks and a guy in a lizard suit.
Yep. And now it's like, I have to imagine all of that there.
Yeah. And then plus sometimes, like I say, imagination's stronger than what you really see.
Yeah.
It's like movies that used to let you imagine the monster. The monster was always bigger than what you see on screen now.
Which actually is kind of ties in with this movie, right? Because was it Harrigan?
Yeah, Alexander Hannigan,
right? He's into this new world. He's wondering, like, because he's a man of science. He's wondering, like, where the hell are all these other people? Why is humanity acting this way?
Yeah,
he thought it would be technology would be further by now,
he
right?
thought it would be, but
if,
he always
in a
saw
way,
what happened.
yeah, in a way, it felt like he went back in time instead of forward.
Yeah, in a way he did, because humanity just destroyed itself, and they went de-evolved. Because I like it when he goes to bed and you see this night sky, and you see it's still the moon.
I know. In 800,000 years later, the moon is still messed up.
Yeah, it's never gonna get better.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna like fix
That's
it,
it.
you know.
That's the end of it. At
Like
least a
it.
dragon didn't come out of the moon. Hey, it's a Doctor Who reference for anybody who's seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Doctor Who. The moon's a
I
giant dragon egg.
I did not know that.
That was the corniest show I ever saw. Episode. I mean, I like Doctor Who, but I'm like, what?
Oh, okay.
That's a hard episode to watch. That's just
Wow.
dumb. I'm like, did you let a kindergartner write this episode? Okay,
Sometimes
well,
I
let's
think
go
about
back.
the 80s cartoons, but let's just say,
Well, let's go back. Anyways, he hears screaming. He wakes up, and it turns out
the kid, the brother.
the little brother had the same dream he had, which he can't figure it out. How is that possible? And they don't want to answer his questions.
No.
But then we see the pocket watches missing.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's
creepy.
really creepy
That is way creepy.
because like all you know is these native people, right? Like they already call them Eloys already.
Yeah, they call him Eloise still.
Yep.
So the next morning, or one of the mornings, they get up and they go to the site.
Yes.
And of course, he wants to show them some kind of. The
There's
little
time
brother
machine.
wants to show. No, the little brother wants to show him what they build.
Yes.
But
Oh
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, but they don't have time. They don't have time because Moore's like, he needs to go look at his machine to see if it's busted.
Yes.
But of course, they go off. They look at the machine.
You know, she
This guy's not
believes
gonna
him.
listen.
Mara believes that he's from the past.
Yeah, she does believe he's from the past.
Yeah.
Because she thinks it's a machine too.
Yep.
And of course, he speaks that language, the old language, so easily.
Yeah.
So, and he has the clothes. So she's got to believe. I mean, it's probably easier for them to believe that kind of stuff because
they never seen it.
Yeah, the technology. It'd be like talking to somebody from our old days. Because like we think it's funny, but a lot of people in the older days had an easier idea of believing in aliens or people from other worlds than they do nowadays.
Oh, I didn't
Because
think
we've
about
seen
that.
so much in space.
Yeah.
I mean, even I've seen a book. Like, okay, here's the neat thing. My grandparents had like a bunch of, or my grandparents, they passed away, but they had a bunch of encyclopedias from the 1950s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the neat thing to look at them because they always had pictures. The encyclopedia was like using the internet back in the day.
Yes.
But these books are from the 50s. And they had, one of the encyclopedias had Mars in it. So I was reading the thing on Mars. In the 1950s, they believed that grass grew on Mars. And that's why Mars turned darker during certain seasons.
Really?
I thought, we know the grass doesn't grow on Mars now. It seems so silly, but it was written in the encyclopedia like it was fact.
Because that's all they know at that time.
Yeah, because they thought because it got darker in certain seasons, and maybe I can't remember why it gets darker. I think it's shadows or something
Okay.
on it, something we couldn't see then. I think it's probably the moon's moving around it, casts a shadow on it. But anyways, they thought it had seasons, and then that's when all this stuff grew on Mars.
Oh.
But people in the 1900s actually believed there was people living on Mars, truly living on Mars.
Did they believe that Mars was flat too?
No. And here's the sad thing. No one ever believed the Earth was flat.
Not at that time, no.
No. Even during you heard the Christopher Columbus story?
Mm-mm.
Okay. A lot of people believe Christopher Columbus sailed around the world to prove it's not flat.
Oh. Okay.
But that's not true. That is not true. No one ever actually believed the world was flat. The flat story came along later in the modern times.
Yeah.
People believe the world was round because when you get up on the mountaintops or look at the ocean, you can see stuff come up over the hills or you can see the curvature of the earth. So people always believed the earth was round way back in the old days.
Oh, okay.
The only reason Christopher Columbus went all the way around because he figured it was a shorter route.
Yes, he did.
That's the only
If you
reason.
go the
I
other
remember
way.
when I was in school, the teachers always gave us the flat earth.
Yeah. Yeah, he
The flat earth
thought
thing
shorter.
came along later in our modern times. That shows you how much when you get smarter, you get stupider. You have to. Come on, look what's going on in the world. There's a lot of
Yeah.
idiots now.
No, because it feels like the way
We're
the
going,
world
it's
is
almost like
going.
we're going backwards. We almost got like now in the United States. We use vaccinations. We almost got rid of every disease, polio, whooping cough, all that. Now all these people don't want to get vaccinations. All these diseases are starting to come back and
Yes.
kill people. I'm like, how stupid are you?
You can't help it, man.
Let me put it this way, because what did they say? It gives people. They say that gives certain people problems. I'm like, they've been doing vaccinations since the turn of the century. Why come people didn't have all these problems in the the 1920s, the 1930s,
They probably
1940s.
did.
They didn't.
You don't think they did?
No, they didn't have all this crap. So,
It's just not advertised that way.
so the vaccination stories, their reasoning behind vaccinations is just plumb stupid.
Okay.
Too bad they don't make a vaccination for stupidity.
Well, okay. You know what? I wanna bring your point. Like the smarter we get, the dumber we get. Right? It's kind of it's showing in a time machine.
yeah,
The natives,
it's a time machine. Yeah,
because
I
they're
get
not
it.
as smart.
They went backwards.
They went backwards totally, even though it's in the future.
Yeah, but of course we get to the time machine, and he's like, "Time machine's fine. I want to hang out in your world."
Yes.
You know, because it's peaceful. It is peaceful.
Yep.
I
Because
mean,
he
we can
doesn't
already
know.
see that.
Because she,
Yeah, he
that's
doesn't know
when
that. But,
that's the scene she asked him to take her brother back to his time.
yeah, and of course she's like, "Hey, you gotta get on your time machine. You gotta go take my brother." And he's like, "What is going on?"
Yeah, what's going on? Why?
Oh, this place is awesome. And of course you hear those horns go.
Yes. I
He
think it's
takes
because
off
when
one.
the head of the Morlocks find out
Yeah.
about this part, and that's
Yeah, you hear her running off, and Kaylin, and then of course you got these. It's funny. You got to remember, there's probably several different types of Morlocks. Well, we see what they call spy Morlocks.
Mhm.
They're the ones that shoot the arrows.
yeah. On the
Yeah,
other one's
it's-
hunters.
And the other ones are hunters. And apparently, when the arrow hits you, it puts a certain smell on you.
Yes,
The
that's what I
hunter
figured
takes-
too. Yeah.
And the spy ones must pick certain people.
Yes.
And of course, they're coming after Kaylin and Mora because they know the time machine guy.
Yes.
They might talk. So we see him, and we see these Morlocks, but they're crazy looking. They're
Yeah,
actually pretty cool.
They
look
much
a lot
better looking.
They're a lot better. Here's the funny thing I've read about the Morlocks. The company that made them was mad at the studio because it made the Morlocks look stupid. I thought the Morlocks were pretty good.
But no, the Morlock looks great.
Yeah, well, they said that the studio ruined the Morlocks.
Really,
Well,
it did look like
whatever.
like an evolved version of humans
Yeah.
in a way.
That's what I'm saying. They looked just fine. Everything was cool.
So
you had like
that's where I have a problem. Since you and I agree, like the Morlocks look like an advanced version of how humans would mutate into
Yeah,
the year
I think they would
800,000, right?
be.
But then we still have regular humans here.
Yeah, you got regular humans.
So not everybody evolve?
So yeah, I guess not. I guess all the people lived on surface because they kept living their life like humans would. They didn't
Ah.
evolve.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with that. Even
So-
though in the book,
In the book,
Oh.
so now in the book, right? Or not in the book, I never read the book.
but the movie.
These Morlocks, yeah, in the movies, right? In these Morlocks, they are not afraid of daylight.
Yeah, that's one thing that was kind of
It bothers me too because we accept the idea
But
that
maybe-
they've been living in
Maybe they have a
underground.
group of hunters that can come up during the day.
Oh, so they're the daywalkers.
Yeah, they got
I
some
got you.
daywalkers.
They got some daywalkers.
And they probably got Morlocks that can't come out.
like Jeremy Irons.
Yeah,
Morlock.
well, they have because we noticed they have a class system. All the Morlocks have a class system, so it's probably all the jobs they were given when they went underground and didn't come back up.
Ah, that
Because
makes
most of
sense.
these were the rich people.
Ooh.
You know, all the poor folks got left up on top.
Oh, like it's Elysium. Okay. Yes.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
That's almost exactly the same copy as this movie. Except
Elysium.
the problem is the rich folks stay on the ground,
Oh,
lost their humanity.
yeah, lost to humanity. I will get to that because I love that conversation that they have.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we see this whole fight scene. Of course, Alexander ends up saving the little brother.
Yes.
And there's a pretty cool fight scene because it goes up this windmill thing.
Yeah.
Which the windmill thing was actually I forgot when they explained it, but it's supposed to represent the parents.
Oh.
It's a memory of their parents, and they build those windmill things to remember all the people they lose. But they didn't really. They explain it somewhere in there eventually.
Yeah, I can't
But
remember.
anyhow,
But you're like the fight scene, like the Morlocks are really strong.
yeah. Well, yeah, they jump they can jump and run and fight and stuff.
They're like
And of course, he hits them
superheroes.
with stuff. You just can't beat them.
No.
The neat thing is, they'll grab people after they get shot with the dart. It smells because you can see them smelling.
Yeah, he was
They
smelling it.
grab them and they pull them underground right to the
Yep.
sand. Man, it's crazy. And they get more and they pull it to the sand. And of course, he runs over there and he's digging the sand. He's yelling at all those people, just like in that other movie.
He's like, why don't you save them? He's like, the ones who fight back are the first to go.
Yeah. So basically, the Morlocks go through their minds, and anybody's thinking about fighting, boom. This is probably why they attacked in the daytime on this.
Because it's a surprise, right?
Because he was going to because he was going to leave.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They probably realized that he's going to grab the little brother, Kaylin, and leave. So they had to intervene.
Wow.
They took course, try to take the little brother and Mora. So that's why the thing is they go down the dirt. So, of course, he has to force the information out of Kaylin.
Yeah.
He's like, what is going on? Of course, they don't want to talk because if you talk, then you're thinking about it, and then the Morlocks attack you.
Yep.
So now you're a threat. And of course, he's like telling them where the deal is. Like, hey, it's a dream. You got to go this way.
Yeah, it's a
so,
dream.
course,
Yeah, exactly. They dream
so
about the
Alexander
same thing.
starts to go somewhere, and of course, Kaylin wants to go with him, but he's like, no, you can't go with him.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it takes him a certain distance, remember, because he goes with them. They both go because it's neat. Because I love this scene. It's also kind of sad on humanity's part because remember they go across this deal and it looks like a lava field.
Yeah.
But then they go through a glass and they go down into a library.
Oh, that's right. The dark library.
Yeah, they go into that dark clay cave, and it actually turns out they're actually going through the skylights or the sky glass on a library that's been covered with lava rock.
Wow.
So they go down in there, and he realizes that's the library's in. And then, of course, the Vox system comes on.
Yes.
And we already know the Vox system knows who he is.
Yes, because he has a record.
Because he says a play. He goes, so what can I get you? Because in a way, I guess he's evolved so much that he's lonely.
Yeah.
He doesn't see nothing, which is weird for a deal. But I guess it's probably it's either they evolved beyond AI or it's AI that makes you think they're human. So he's got to act like he's lonely in order to act more human. But it doesn't really matter because I remember he talks about the plays. You want to see his play? He goes, you would love him.
Yes.
That's when I noticed. That's when I realized he knows who he is at first.
Yeah.
Because he goes, you don't know him yet, but when you hear him, you'll love him. He says that to him. So that's how you know that he already knows who he is.
Yeah.
And of course, he tries to talk to the Vox system and he asks him questions. I like it when he goes to the library, the books, because he does the book scene. Remember where he takes the books and they crumble? I'm sorry, our lending library's out of order for the moment.
Yeah.
He starts talking to the system. He's like, what happened here? He goes, it'll haunt you. This information will haunt you. And he goes, but I want to know. And he goes, they evolved. He goes, if you can't tell, the species that were one evolved into two.
Yes.
He goes, really? He goes, so what's happening? I like it when he looks at Kaylin and he makes that bah.
Yeah, that noise.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, it makes that sheep noise because he's basically telling them they're eating them.
Like
they're sheep.
Yep, there's sheep. Ooh.
He's kind of cold. Yeah, he's kind of mean to it. Yeah, because you could already tell he doesn't really like the Eloi.
No.
The Vox system, because you can't get any information out of them. Because they're stupid. And I like it when he's telling him that. He goes, so how do you know so much? He goes, I like it when he goes to that skeleton. You can see him walk over that skeleton. Well, one of them came here and told me everything.
Yeah.
We talked for years.
So I'm thinking, like, who is this skeleton character, right?
Well, he's just an Eloi that escaped.
Oh, that's right. He did talk about the Eloi that escaped.
He must have been able to speak the old language.
Yeah.
It's probably why he got captured, because he could speak the old language and he was smart. So they captured him to eat him, and he escaped, and he stayed at that library because they want to come look for him. And of course, remember this library, Kaylin and all his people, they call it a haunted place.
Yes.
Because all the voices they hear. That thing must appear, because it would look like a ghost because it's photonic. So it just appears in the glass and moves along the glass.
Wow.
And I like it when he starts telling him, he goes, how bad it is to remember everything.
Yes. Yeah, I love that part. Yeah.
I like it because I remember the little girl asked me about dinosaurs 800 years ago. And he goes, and then I like it when he looks at, I even remember you, time travel, applications.
Applications.
He's like, but then he talks to him and he goes, ask him, well, tell me how to get there. And he goes, you already know, just follow the breathing.
I thought it was like, just follow the breathing. You already know.
But you know what the breathing really is, right?
What?
It's the air duct system.
Oh,
they
that's
can pump
right.
Air from the outside world down to
the underground.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So that's what it all is. See, he leaves Kaylin there, and he goes down the tunnels, which is awesome. And you see all the gears and stuff.
The gear, right? Like, and now you talk about the cameras back then. Not this movie, but the other one. You talk about, like, you appreciate the technology now because now it actually looks dark.
Yeah, but it's not pitch black. Like
no, it's not pitch black. Yeah,
it's probably supposed to be pitch black almost in the old movie. But this one, it's got enough light. He goes down in there, and he finds the Morlock. Well, he wanders around the Morlock deal, and then he finds that pit where all the bones and stuff are.
Yes. It looks so much better. Yeah.
Oh, it looks weird. And then he hits that deal. Yeah, you see all the cuts and blood because they couldn't have done that. They wouldn't have been able to show that.
Yeah, back then. Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't have shown any of that. Of course, he slides down that. Actually, hits that lever, slides down into the trash pit with all the bones and dirty water.
Yeah.
like it
Close.
because it kind of jump a little bit because someone grabs him by the hair and
Yeah.
pulls him out. And
He
then
got
the next scene,
captured.
they're throwing him in the prison
Yep.
deal, and that's when he sees Mara.
Yep.
She's just sitting there staring
Yeah.
because her mind's being controlled. And he looks over there, and that's when he sees Jeremy Irons.
Yeah.
Which they call him the Uber Warlock.
The Uber Warlock. Yeah.
Yeah, the Uber Warlock.
And his I guess his physique and everything was much more different. So I guess he's the one that cannot go above ground.
Yeah, he probably can't. Because, his eyes were different.
Eyes were different. He's
Everything were
actually
different.
with the blue skin.
Yeah, and he's talking, and then he starts telling the story of evolution, which is cool because, he's talking about him because he's calling him, Alexander's calling him, how did you lose your humanity? Calling him a monster in a way.
Yeah.
But I like it when he gets up and he's trying to tell him the story. He goes, he controls all of them,
Yep.
everybody on this planet. But there's a lot of people like him too.
Yes.
Remember, he says they're just one colony,
Yeah.
and they trade desirable females among their colonies so they can breed more warlocks.
Yeah, bring more warlocks.
more
No,
Eloys.
more Eloys.
They breed more Eloids to eat.
Yep.
So basically, they treat them like cows.
Yes.
Of course, he's trying to tell him about it. I like it when he tells about evolution. He shows them the fish in the water.
Yeah.
But then he gets up and you see, because he's talking about they worked on their brain. And he gets up and you see his brain all the way down his back over his spinal cord.
And, I really like the way that Jeremy Irons questioned him, like, how are you to question our 800,000 years of evolution
Exactly.
when you've only been here for a day? That is a really great line. They didn't have that in the 1960s.
No. Well, I mean, they could have done anything like this. This is beyond.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they passed, because none of this is in the book.
No.
The enemy, because see, they put an enemy now.
Yeah, they
But
put
he
an
can
enemy in there that he can fight, and then also they have that moral question.
Yeah.
How can you judge someone?
Yeah, instead of the book question, you got the moral question.
Yeah, the moral question is the what if.
Yeah, the what if.
Because like the Jeremy Irons, like the Uber Morlock, right?
Yeah.
He could read his brain. I mean, like he knew what his thoughts want to be.
Yeah.
He
also
only
know
came
why-
here for one thing.
Yeah, he goes, yeah, you're just going to come, you came here.
To
And I
ask
like
the
it,
one
goes-
question.
And if she would have lived, tell him that if his girlfriend would have lived, or his fiance would have lived, you would never have built the time machine to come here in the first place.
Yes, that's so great right there.
But I like it when he gets into his head
Yes,
and then he builds that house and he sees his
kids,
family,
his wife. Yep.
his wife
It-
and his kids.
Like, let's talk about that moment. He's right though. Now we go back to that thing. Like, even if he to save her, right? He would never come here. And that's why he can't change the past. Because in a way, it feels like Alex is destined to come here.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, they only got one direction to go, and it's forward.
Yep.
You got to take it with the changes. I mean, people are going to evolve. Get over it. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
Everything's going to happen. You can't stop it. You either work with what you
So
get.
it feels like we're getting into the path where Alex is the bad guy. Eventually.
Yeah, in a way. Well, in a way, he is.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys. I mean, the Warlocks didn't choose to become evil.
It feels like Alex is one of those guys that he's not cool with change.
He's not cool with change.
Like,
But
if
he's
it's
also one of the
not for the
guys-
good.
Well, in a way, the Warlocks blaming him because he's one of the guys that helped blow up the moon.
Oh.
He's one of the guys who built all the machines. He's one of the guys that doesn't keep his head down,
Yeah.
which the Morlocks don't like now. Because, I mean, he's a free thinker. In a way, the Morlock sees him as the same guy, too. Because that Morlock has nobody to talk to.
Yeah.
Really. He probably meets with other people like him, but this guy's a smart guy like him. This guy actually knows more tech than he does.
Yes.
This guy only knows how to control
That's
people's
why.
minds.
That's why he stole the pocket watch.
Because I love it. Because the best line in there, we all have our time machine.
Yes.
It also tells you another thing I like.
Yeah.
If you don't like the answers, you shouldn't ask the questions,
Yes.
which is really good. Because that could apply to anything. Because a lot of people always get mad. They ask a question, they don't get the answer they want.
They want. Yeah.
Which is puzzling because I'm like, why would you ask a question if there's already an answer that you want?
Yes.
Aren't you supposed to ask a question to get an answer? Not get a question.
So basically, you're asking a rhetorical question, but the other party doesn't know it's a rhetorical question because you want the other person to say what you're thinking.
Yeah, exactly. He thinks because he's kind of arrogant in a way now. Because you're right, he is kind of turned into a bad guy just for a moment.
Yeah.
because he went all the way to the future, and he thinks that the world should be the way he wants it.
Yes, the
and
way.
the question that he's asking should get the answer that he wants.
Yep, but it
He's
doesn't work that
upset.
way.
Yeah, he's upset that he's realized
Oh.
he can't change the past.
This
He can't
movie
even-
is getting better now that we talk
He
about
can't
it.
even fix the moon destruction.
Yeah,
He can't do nothing.
he can't.
But also, I'm saying he can't do nothing because each time he goes back in time, he goes into an alternate timeline and goes forward again.
Right, because he kills Jeremy Iron, even though like the Uber
Yeah.
Morlock is stronger than he
Well,
is.
officially, yeah. Jeremy Irons has nothing else to say to him.
Yeah,
He can't have
because he
more.
told him to leave.
Yeah, he tells him to leave. He gives him his time machine.
He gets
Go
up.
back to your time.
Go
You
back
got
to your
your
time. You have your answer.
Yeah, you got your answer. And I like it. So he gets on his time machine, and then he starts to thinking. I guess Jeremy Irons, because of the time stuff,
Yeah.
can't read his thoughts now.
Oh, that's right. He's inside.
Yeah, because he's in that thing. Because he goes, "Hey,"
You have
You have
something
something
that
belongs
belongs
to
to me.
and that's when Jeremy Irons goes, "I guess we all have our time
Yeah,
machine."
that was a good line too. When
Which
he
is
gives his
actually
watch
would
back.
be neat. The time. There's something that keeps time.
Yeah,
So that would be amazing. Something from. It's like an antique. It's going to be neat to a moral.
yeah.
Of course, he hands it and he grabs him by the arm.
And they have a
pulls him-
fight scene.
That's when I get a fight.
And the only way that he killed it because the Uber Morlock was outside the time machine.
Yeah, well,
and
yeah, the machine flips, yeah, and then he starts to age.
age
quick.
really quick. And then he got to the future where like Morlocks runs everything, right? With the lava thing.
Because like he said, well, we got to remember that when Jeremy Irons' character tells him that they keep the Morlocks from eating all the stuff. Because
Yes.
if they weren't
Oh,
there, they'll
if they were there,
every-
eat all of it, all the food.
Yeah, they will consume everything. And then when we get there, the Morlocks have wiped off everything.
Everybody, all the Eloys, yeah.
So of course he's got to go back. But here's the thing, though. Now he's going back. He's slipping into another timeline.
Yeah. I agree.
So in that timeline he left, what's her name? Mora in the cage died.
yeah, dies.
But we don't see that because it looks like he came back and
He
saved
came
her.
back to save her, yeah,
He
exactly.
came back to save the other Mora.
Yeah. I guess he killed all the other Morlocks.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes back to save the new Mora, the other
The other
alternate
one.
Mora.
Yeah, the alternate one.
Which to him, what does it matter? He's time travel.
Yeah.
I'd hate for him to think about all the people he's killed.
He's a mass murderer, yes.
Yeah. The time just moved on and they died. She probably starved to death.
So this one is kind of like the first one where he just killed all the other Morlocks to save the
because we
Eloys.
get that part where he goes real far forward and then
Yeah.
he comes back.
He comes back. He
Oh, yeah,
never
I think-
actually went back to the 1800s or 1899 or 1904.
No, he just comes back a few years and he gets her out of the cage.
Yep.
Of course, he decides to destroy his time machine, so he sets it on overload. Overload.
Yeah, overload till he could blow it up.
And of course, they run past the Morlocks and the lights shining out. They run through all the Morlocks, do a little bit of fighting.
Yeah, they
But
look like they're
the-
climbing up a well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat because they're climbing, and those Morlocks are. Then it shows the Morlocks. They're jumping because they couldn't have done this in 1960s.
No, they
It's
can't.
pretty exciting because they're running through the tunnels. And those Morlocks are running like dogs
Yes.
to hunt them down. Finally, just barely, they get over the edge, and then that thing explodes and burns out all the Morlocks, burns the deal down. And the neat thing is, the Eloys finally got enough guts to show up to help him.
Yes, to show to help him.
Yeah, they show up, and of course,
Lead
they
by
show up.
example.
They stand up on that hill, and of course, you see all the burn marks.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing eventually they kill off all of them.
Yeah, the other Morlocks. Yeah, and that's how this movie changes its pace.
Yeah. Changes his deal. He decides to stay with them, and he starts teaching them. He becomes a teacher too.
He become a teacher, and then the Vox systems begin to teach
Yeah,
them.
I like it because the Vox system's set up there, and it teaches all the children.
Yep.
And of course, then at the end of the movie, it shows him talking to Kaylin and Mara, telling about his house.
Yes. Oh
It's
yeah,
cool.
because they were underground.
love
Like
this.
this is where the stuff is. Yeah.
Yeah, this is where my laboratory was. This is where the deal is, and then it kind of half and half. And you see Philby coming in.
Yep. Oh,
Talks
those
about
were,
it.
yeah.
She's like, he's never come back. He's like, I'm happy he never come back, because that makes me think that he went off somewhere better. Then of course he's like, hey, we need a housekeeper. She's
Oh,
like, I
yeah.
want to tell your house. And he's like, hey, I can take it.
I'm gonna
Of
be
course, he goes
strict.
out the door.
I bet you
I
would.
love
Yep.
that scene because
Yeah.
it's half and half, and of course she turns the lights off,
Yeah.
and then he gets his life back in the future.
Wow. Imagine that.
And see, the funny thing is, this one ends with a Hollywood ending.
Yeah. Because it's a happy ending.
Happy ending.
It's not a questionable one like the 1960. Like, what 3 books would you take?
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, I think and it posed all the moral questions while he's talking to Jeremy Irons.
Oh, it did. It posed all the Jeremy question. It feels like I'm on the side of the Morlocks.
And the neat thing is, the more you watch the movie, the more you can question what they're really talking about.
What do you think?
But yeah, I never could see up until you said that a while ago. I never thought about him being the bad guy for a little bit.
Well, because like I didn't until I started
I mean,
talking to
we
you about
decided
it.
they're bad guys, but you know, I mean, there's the way the life is. Because remember, that's what that guy who tells him. He goes, "Hey, so why don't you go in there?" And they go, "It's the day and the night. It's the way the world is."
Yeah, it is.
I mean, sometimes you can't just change evolution because you don't like it. He does, in a way, wipes out the Morlocks, but
I mean, like he's selfish in a way. Like the Morlocks, I wouldn't say they're the bad people. It's just the way that life is now.
Yeah, it's the way life is. He's just wiped out a creature.
Morlocks are the top of the food chain.
Yeah, they're the top of the food chain, and he didn't like it, so he wipes them out in a way. So in a way, he changes the course of history himself.
Yeah, he did.
But I guess him changing the course of history is supposed to go that, like we said, time moves forward.
Yep.
Why dwell on the past? Fix what you can now.
Oh, that's the theme. Why dwell on the past? Because the whole thing was about him saving his girlfriend.
Yeah, he was trying to fix something that already happened.
Yes.
But he could save Mara. So that's why he did. He went forward.
Yeah.
Instead of waiting until it's already too late to save her.
Wow. This movie was fantastic, man.
This movie was actually a very good movie.
It feels like the time travel is better than Back to the Future.
I'd say it was. Yeah, in a way, it is better.
Because we find so much loophole. I don't know. It's because they have so many more
Back to the Future
movies.
was more of a fun movie.
Yeah.
But this was time travel. This was a pretty good story.
This was time travel, and it brought up the more moral questions that we could answer as an adult.
And this is one you won't ever have a sequel to.
Yes.
The sequel just wouldn't be good for it.
No, it did. They did everything they need to in one movie.
I mean, Back to the Future is good, but you have to analyze all three movies.
Yeah.
And the problem is the second and the third one kind of antagonize the first movie.
It does. I know.
And then when you get to the third movie,
the more I think about it, yeah.
Yeah, and when you get to the third movie,
none of it makes sense.
Yeah, well, the third movie actually is the only movie that makes sense in Back to the Future.
Right.
Everything that happens in the third movie, you realize the second movie was never even needed.
If they did the end of the third movie right.
Waste of time.
Yep. If he just
reversed.
Yeah, Doc should have told him, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Just don't do anything.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't have to fix the future in the second one. All they had to do was Marty needed to learn his lesson.
Right. And it just happens a few minutes after, they showed up anyway.
Yep. But I still love Back to the Future too.
But I want to talk about this. So if you were Alex, right, it's like, what would you have done? Would you have killed the Morlocks? Or it would take a long time to realize, like,
it would be hard not to kill the Morlocks.
It is, because we want to stay the way that we are now.
Yeah. I mean, if he wants to stay in that future, stay in that timeline, you're going to have to save Mara.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was like a second woman, he has a second chance.
Hey, you know what? Mara is kind of cute. I save her too.
I'd save her too.
Yeah.
Why don't you just and look? You can build the future you want now.
Yeah, you can build the future you want. Oh my
gosh! Why
gosh!
go back? He didn't like all the bowler hats and all that stuff anyway.
No, he didn't.
So I mean, in a way, he was so far ahead of his time in the old days that he finally found his place.
So it feels like the time travel movie. Some people move out of state, out of country, and things to find out where they really want to be, right?
Yeah.
And he did that with a time machine. Like, I'm going to travel to a time period that suits me.
Exactly. In a way, yeah. It's like when people leave this country to go do something else, or fled from another country.
Yeah.
He fled from his time to find something else. He found a better life. He found a meaningful life, and he built something. Wow. And of course, he did wipe out the Morlocks, but hey.
Yeah, he had to become a master murderer to do it.
So he did some genocide. The Morlocks did it to themselves. They shouldn't have brought him down there.
Oh.
Shouldn't have done that.
They should have.
I mean, he did. In a way, he was fighting for his survival, too.
Yeah.
Well, actually, he was fighting for their survival, but.
Oh, that's so many what ifs. That's the whole title of this thing. What if?
Yeah.
The time travel, the time machine is a big what if. What if he didn't what if he didn't kill the Morlocks? What if he didn't save Mara? What if he just go back?
Regular life is the what ifs.
Yeah, regular life is just
regrets of what if.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, when
So
you're doing a what if, you're actually doing a regret.
so this thing poses a question for time travel. It feels like even though he's time traveling, he can't change the past, right? Like what the like it's kind
Well,
of like
he
the
felt he couldn't change the past. But the problem is, in time travel, you're never going to be able to change the past, anyways. Because, like I said, you can't fix anything in your own timeline because you were never there in the past to begin with.
right. So you
So
can't
every
even.
time
So
you
what
go
you
back,
is you
yes,
create an alternate one.
yeah, you create an alternate time, and the problem is because something you changed in the past now is going to change something that's ahead of.
And you will never get back. You will never get to go back to your timeline.
Yeah, you'll never, unless you turn yourself tiny and go through a quantum realm like Marvel universe. You're most likely not going to be able to go back. I
No,
mean, it can't. Going back in the time can
no,
never.
no. I'm not talking about like that. I'm like even though let's just say we create an alternate timeline, right? Like in Alex, his fiance is supposed to die. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Well, he probably could have saved her. He could have went back and saved her. Okay, so let's say he did. What's he going to do though? Because it's not really
Him.
her, and there's another him in that universe.
There's another him in that universe. That's so crazy to think about.
You see, you really don't ever fix your problem.
No.
You can go time travel all you want back in the time. You're never going to fix. You may save some people, but you're never going to fix the problem you went back to fix.
So you know what you should do? Since you can't fix your own timeline, right? You can enhance it. You go back in time. Or no, you go back and you go. No, you can go back. No, you can't. I was thinking in a way where you go back in
Let me put it
time,
this
right?
way. If you have a family in this timeline, you don't want to time travel back
No.
because you lose your family.
Yeah,
you're
you
dead
lose
to
your-
them.
Not yeah. If I ever leave this timeline, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
if you're to leave that timeline, you're gone.
Yep.
Your family's going to wonder what happened to you.
Yeah.
If you go to an alternate, you'll never come back. If you go in the future, you just lost all that time.
You can never come back. Oh, that's creepy. You can never
That's
come
the same
back to your
thing. Though.
destination.
It's travel in the future too. You can't jump. You don't want to jump 20 years because what will happen if you jump 20 years?
People
miss
think
your
that
kids
you're missing
growing up.
for 20 years. Yeah.
It's 20 years you lost to see your kids grow up.
Oh, time travel is so tricky.
You don't do time travel at high
No.
speeds.
No.
I mean, if you don't have anybody, fine. But the problem is, like, he wanted to go back and be with her.
Yes.
It wouldn't have mattered if he went back and saved her. He couldn't have still been with her because
You know, I'm surprised the rules didn't follow the same. Like with him and his wife, no, his girlfriend, right? I forgot her name already.
yeah,
But I'm surprised that when he went back, he wasn't. Nothing stopped him. Kind of like how he got here in the first place. Like everything was supposed to happen the way it's supposed to. Like Morlock was supposed to like get traded off somehow.
yeah. It did happen though. When he went forward in the future in that timeline,
Yeah.
all that probably wouldn't happen. But he killed the head Morlock. So when he went forward, she got killed.
Yes.
But then he traveled back to another time and came back at the same time he left. So he didn't have himself to run into.
Yeah. It's so weird.
So
Yeah.
he could fix. I mean, he had a point. He was at a point where he could fix time.
We talk about like the I guess the variant, I guess in a way, the
You gotta remember-
duplicate of themselves.
Yeah. You
Well,
don't
so
wanna come back-
what would be really creepy is if you go into the future, right? You find a duplicate version of yourself.
Why would you find a duplicate?
I mean,
version?
that's what I'm saying. That's the creepy part. That
'Cause if
you
let
won't
me
be
put it this
able
way,
to.
If you travel into the future and you find another one of yourselves, that means that you're not the prime timeline.
Oh. Oh.
That means you're not even probably in the second. You're probably way down the list of timelines.
That's right. Like if I go into the future, I should not be able to see myself
If
older.
you're in the future, you should never see yourself.
You would
If
never,
see
because
yourself,
you're already
that means
gone.
yeah, if you go to the future and you
It's
see
not your
yourself,
prime timeline. So Back
That
to the
means it's-
Future 2 would never work.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god. Because
Yeah,
he was never there in the first
I
place.
saw that. You're right. Back to the Future 2 couldn't have happened.
He's like, why would you leave? Because he's not there to make it happen.
That means he went into an alternate timeline then.
He already went to an alternate timeline.
He went to an alternate future.
That
So that was
Yes.
never. So that thing was never his future, anyways.
right. The only way I could see a double
Yeah, you're
version of
right.
myself, right? I would have to go back in the mid 80s, but it's me younger.
No, you're right. No, if you travel in the future, you can't see yourself.
No, you
You
can't.
won't be there
Because you won't be there. Because
because you were never there to get to the future.
yeah. Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, because see, their assumption in that deal was that was him when he went to the future and came back, and that was him. But no, it can't work that way. It can't work that way.
No.
No way at all.
So I just destroyed Back to the Future too.
You did. Even worse than I did.
Yeah. So it should have been over right there. As soon as he left that 85 timeline to go to 2015, it's all gone.
The problem is if he would have left that time, if he would have left and gone to the future, he would have never existed, never had kids, so they wouldn't have any
because
problem.
They see time as one line because he goes back. That means if you go back, right, he still make that it's all.
Well, if you go back, you got to go on another line.
You have to go on another line. Yep.
If you go back,
the future that Marty went into
forward, if you go forward, you're always on the same line.
Too bad we can't. You know what? If we're the first one to think this, right, and then if anybody watches this, that pull this idea and shoot it on YouTube, that would be funny as shit.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, Marty's here now. Like, where the heck is myself? Oh, you didn't know? If you go travel future in your timeline, you're not here, because you're here now.
It goes to show you Doc Brown's just not as smart as you thought he was.
Yeah, like I mean, Doc Brown could see what happened, but when he come back to get Marty, no.
Doc Brown should have saw the problem.
Yeah, no, Doc Brown can see what happened, but he can't bring Marty to save it.
Yeah. So when Doc Brown went to the future,
Doc Brown is the only one. Like to save my timeline, it had to be someone else other than me.
Yeah, but Doc Brown instead went and got Marty to come back to fix his future. Doc Brown shouldn't have known by the time he got there. There wouldn't be a Marty there.
Yes. So he's not that smart.
No. Well, we already know he's not that smart. You know why? Because remember the first Back to the Future? He's got this big white truck. It says Doc Brown on the side of it. And he drives the DeLorean out of it. And then those guys show up. And he's like, how did they find me?
Yeah, because you're driving a big truck
with your name across it.
Oh, we need to definitely do Back to the Future. Now that we keep talking about time, I think we need to do another Thursday movie about time.
Yeah,
because
we'll have to stretch it out.
Yeah, I'm not go back. I cannot go to the future, right, to fix myself. I have to get someone else to do it.
No, actually, all you have to do is like, okay, I'm gonna tell you something bad's gonna happen to you in the future.
Okay.
I don't have to take you to the future to fix it. All I have to do is tell you about it, and you fix it now.
Yes, that's how you fix it.
Yes. All Doc Brown had to do was tell Marty what was going to happen, and Marty makes sure it doesn't happen.
Yes.
It's that simple.
Yes. Because when Doc Brown leaves, right, he'll leave in the future, and then, like, Marty won't see him for another 30 years.
Yeah. That's the thing, because if we go to the future to fix the problem's not going to be there by the time we get there.
Because you're gone.
And then when we go backwards, we just create another timeline.
Oh, I can't wait to tell my sister this. I'm going to destroy Back to the Future.
Well, if your sister's watching or listening, you just destroyed
I just did. So you're going to find out Monday. Or Thursday, Friday.
Okay. I already could tell you might not need time travel at all.
Oh my God, this is really creepy. Yes.
You're banned. You're going to be the man in the chair for me when I time travel.
Oh my gosh, yes. Time travel is so crazy.
Yeah,
so now
destroyed Back to the Future altogether.
We destroyed Back to the Future altogether. Did we destroy Endgame?
No, we didn't destroy Endgame.
Okay, so they went back to the past.
Yeah, they went back to the past, and all the times they went back to the past created alternate timelines.
Yeah, they created alternate timeline.
I mean, and of course, Captain America went and made his own timeline, did whatever he wanted.
Holy crap! Is that how they start the alternate universes, by doing that?
Yes.
By doing Endgame, yes.
That's alternate. Yeah, but you got to remember that's alternate timelines, but not parallel universes.
Oh no! Yeah,
parallel universes
is a different thing.
Universes where something what if happens.
Yes.
For example, what if Loki was a girl, born a girl? That's parallel. But you got to remember, at the end of the movie, all those bad guys are parallels and not time.
Let's talk about all the time travel. Since we're on the time machine, let's talk about all the time travel movies that we like. It's just Back to the Future in this one.
We haven't seen all of them. There's hundreds of them. I watched tons of them in the 80s.
Have you seen
Time
another
After
one?
Time.
Oh, I've never seen Time After Time.
Time After Time is when H.G. Wells travels the time to fight Jack the Ripper.
Oh, I've never seen that.
Oh, it's got Mary Steenburgen in it.
Will, is it so she's younger?
Yeah, when she's younger, and then she comes into Back to the Future, so she's a time traveler.
Oh, that's funny. I never made the connection.
I think there was another one. There used to be some kind of time travel deal. I can't remember. I only saw part of it where a motorcycle goes to this thing and goes through time.
Oh.
There's Time Cop. I don't really like Time Cop.
Okay, so I do want to bring up Time Cop. I did remember Looper.
You don't have to destroy Looper because Looper pretty much
Destroys itself.
It
Yeah.
makes
I
no
think when watching that just
sense.
destroys itself.
It's
Yeah.
funny though. It should have been a good movie,
Yes.
but it's just when they start doing the past thing, I was like, it won't work because you won't exist in the future. If you go back to destroy your younger self, you won't start in the future, and you had no reason to ever do this.
Yes.
Hey, I know a good one, a good time travel movie,
Okay.
Butterfly Effect.
Ooh, that is a
That's
good
actually
one.
a good one. And
That
it
is
uses a whole different time travel method.
Yes. You know what? The X-Men use a different time travel method. It's in the mind.
Yeah. Yeah, they do a time travel too, and then theirs is not bad.
Yeah, Days of the Future Past is not bad.
But it should have made and it would have been alternate, so it wouldn't have damaged their joke. But the problem is they send Wolverine back to the past to stop their future. It won't ever stop their future though.
No, that would.
So
It
they
just
did
be
nothing.
gone.
for
So
themselves.
it actually moves Wolverine's consciousness through time.
Yeah. Well, they just put him in another deal, and he just creates another timeline. But the problem is, they send him back to save their time. He can't because their time was going to keep on going until they get destroyed. It's like Terminator, which is good. But the problem is, John Connor sends a soldier back from his time. But the problem is, it doesn't save his timeline.
No,
It just helps another timeline. So Terminator creates hundreds of different timelines where none of the robots ever win in any of the timelines.
Well, I think you're right. I think back then when people were thinking about this idea, right, they didn't just think that time runs on one line. You know,
they think you
that's
go
the
back and
theory.
erase it, but
Yeah.
you're not going to erase all the people that existed in that timeline. Why would you be the most important person?
So you know what they should have done? Yeah, they won't change their timeline. They could change a different timeline.
But the problem is you can't stick to this timeline in a lot of movies, or you'll ruin the movie. For like Star Trek 4,
Okay.
they time travel. They say the Federation, but if you think about it, they didn't really say the Federation.
They save a
Earth got
different
destroyed.
Federation.
Yes. So I'm like, what?
Wow.
So that Federation they left destroyed because they kind of come back in it.
Dude, I love.
But there's
Time
also several
travel.
other ones. I mean, there's been several time travels, and Star Trek has tons of time travels.
I gotta watch Star Trek.
Some of them are brilliant because I remember this one, my favorite one.
Is it a
It's
movie or a
Next
show?
Generation. It's a Next Generation one, and the show starts off where everything looks like Star Trek you've ever watched, and then they go, Worf's like, Captain, I see an anomaly. Boom, there's no Worf, and everybody's wearing different stuff. The ship is dark, and Tasha Yar, the head of security that got killed,
Yeah.
like maybe 3-4 seasons ago, is in charge now, and only one character on their ship knows that their time is wrong.
You told me about that. You know what? It's really
Yeah.
funny. You know the other things that I watch from YouTube, right? The Red versus Blue guy. They did something just like that, where only one person knew something was off,
Yeah, no, something's wrong.
and then like the people were doing it right. Realize
The sad
that
thing
person
is,
like, oh,
to
I
get
think he
this time
knows.
travel enterprise, to get this Star Trek show, you got to watch a lot of Star Trek to understand.
Oh
But
man.
to see the changes and understand why one person knows something's wrong. Well, actually, you don't need to know that because it explains why she knows something's wrong later on in the movie.
Damn time travel.
Well, it's pretty cool because there's so many time travels.
We gotta get a whole bunch of time. We gotta call these time travel Thursdays now. We gotta find more time travel stuff. Like even like because like I want to. Oh no, let me go back to
Maybe we should time travel backwards so we can time travel and change the name ahead of time so it's right now.
So
Oh,
no,
we already did.
let me talk
An
about the
alternate.
time cop thing. The reason why I want to bring over time cop, right, is because we just talked about that. If I want to change my future, I need someone else to either do it for me or tell me, right?
No, but that's the problem. No, they can't do that for you. They can change your future, but they can't ever change your past.
Oh, that's right. So you have to tell me at the time, like in the future, don't do this. That's the only way.
Actually, yeah. Well, actually, it can't. If I travel all the way to the future to see your time, I'll never be able to come back to see you. So I can't do nothing for you. Sorry.
You can't do nothing, but
No,
you haven't
because
changed
in
anything.
order to come back to see you, I had to time travel backwards, automatically putting me in an alternate timeline. So I can help the other you, but I can't help the prime.
Really? So if let's just say you go to the future,
Yeah.
you
See,
don't
I
do
go to-
anything. You go back.
go
You
20
come back. So that means
I can't
Doc
come
Brown
back.
can never came back.
Yeah, I can't come back. Remember?
So if
Whatever
you go
point-
back to the past, where would you go from that timeline?
Yeah, well, let's go to the future. If I go back to the past, I can't come back to your past because I was never there in my past. Give me. Anytime you move backwards in a timeline, you go into an alternate timeline.
So you don't go back to the same
Because
timeline.
you've altered your timeline
By going to traveling through time.
Yep. So I can go forward as much as I want, but I can never come back to talk to you.
Oh. So that means once you time travel, you're already gone.
Yep.
You'll
Let's say
be
if I go
forever
20
gone.
years to the future, let's say when I go 20 years in the future, you catch up to me.
Yeah. You stay the same age the last time I saw you.
Yep. I'm the same age, but you're 20 years older.
Older.
So I can't help you do anything because now I can't jump back in our timeline. So nobody.
No one can ever help anybody.
Nope. The only way I can help it is I can help the other you, but I can't help you.
So no one should be able to use anything to financially gain anyone.
Well, nobody can save or help anybody. You can get financial gain. I could go put money in the bank and go jump 20 years in the future and get it. But that's it.
That's it.
I can't help anything in the past. You can't change anything in the past.
You cannot change anything. Oh, then you're not gonna like time cop.
Well, that's the thing. But like I said, in a way, you can't change anything in the past. You can change something in an alternate past.
In an alternate past, right? You could
but
change
you can't
that.
change anything in your past.
You could have so many different alternate realities where, like, okay, this one, just for the hell of it, I'm gonna let Hitler win the war. And the other one, Hitler never started the war. So let's see where that goes.
What good does it do you, though? You don't save anybody.
No, I'm saying, like, just for, like, I'm the Joker in this situation. Like, I just want to watch the world burn.
But you just keep jumping through time, so.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like I told you in the MCU, because they made those 3 timelines when they fight Thanos again in 2 of the timelines.
Yeah.
Because one of the timelines they don't have to fight Thanos because he's gone.
Yep.
Those will spawn 2 more each. And then those spawn-lines will spawn 2 more each. So then before you know it, you have hundreds and hundreds of alternate timelines that look the same.
So never time travel.
So yeah, there's eventually there's the original Captain America doing wherever he wants in the timeline. Now there's variant Captain America is doing wherever he wants in the timelines.
Oh,
tons of them.
Wow. So the thing is, just don't time travel. No one should time travel.
Well, not other than the speed you time travel currently.
Unless you could do that thing that Tony figured out that you can get back to your own timeline.
Yeah, but you can only come back in it where you left.
Yeah, you can only come back. Oh, that's how they. Yeah.
Or after.
Yeah, like second after.
Like that question, I think, I don't know if we answered it or not. You asked me as Captain America, where did he come back as an old man? Oh. He popped back right before they saw him. You know, when they looked at the bench, that's when he popped in that time. He could never appear before then. Oh. So he never lived in their timeline. So he popped up, but we don't know how he popped up. Somebody had to send him. We don't know where he got the shield. That's the biggest story, is where the shield came from.
That's right. Where does the shield come from?
What did he do in his other world? He got married, but he also had a shield, and he was able to pop up wherever he wanted in their timeline.
Yeah, he was, right?
But he can't pop up before he left.
It's the time travel GPS.
Yeah, maybe. Or somebody helped him do something else.
Huh. Oh, man.
That's like I said.
It got my brain's juice going. Just think about
time travel. He could only reappear as an old man after he left.
He can only reappear after old man.
But he can't. He's not in that timeline any time before he got on that platform and disappeared.
And he came back as an old self.
Yep. So he lived out his whole life in another timeline.
Ooh, that's.
Makes you wonder, what did he do?
You're right. Yeah.
Stay quiet? Did he help the Avengers? Did he tell them what was coming?
Oh man.
Where did he get the shield? Because the shield is. Because here's the neat thing about the shield. You remember the Falcon thinks the shield. The government thinks the shield belongs to him. But the Falcon could go, yeah, I don't think that shield is not even from our timeline.
No, it's not. So it makes what the Falcon said different now. When he said, how does it feel? And he says, it feels like somebody else's. At that time when I watched it, it feels like it feels like it doesn't mean that it belongs to him. Like just it does belong to Steve. But now that line can mean completely different thing.
Yeah, because the shield that Howard Stark built is destroyed.
Yeah, it is destroyed.
So where's this shield come from? Come from an alternate timeline. So Falco's running around with a shield. It's from an alternate timeline. It's not built by anybody in his timeline.
And that's why he said it feels like somebody else's. That
Well,
means
he meant
something
it
different.
felt like it belonged to Captain
Yeah,
America.
bangs you Captain America. That's how I
Now
did it
it's
too.
even bigger because nobody there is even comprehending it because Tony Stark's not there to explain it to him.
Yeah.
The Hulk can explain it to him.
No, because that's not his field. Oh man, I love time travel.
The Hulk
Shane.
gets time.
You always know that I love time travel. Now that we just older, we get deeper into it.
Yeah.
But now we have to call prime and stuff like, yeah. Without those keywords, prime, I would probably not understand it as well as I can.
I mean, we're gonna have to make some new words for a lot of our stuff.
Holy crap, prime. Yeah.
Prime means the main line, and until we see somebody time travel backwards.
As soon as I leave,
time,
no, it's not even
we're the
backwards.
prime.
Yeah.
No,
even
but
if
I'm just saying, if anybody comes back from time, from the future comes in your timeline, then you're not a real timeline.
Oh. Whoa.
So far, they've never found anybody. There's some crazy people that claim they travel back in time, but from their understanding of time travel, you already know they're nuts.
Yes. From their understanding of time travel, right?
Yeah. Like, you didn't.
Oh, you know what's really funny? Let's just say we understand this really well, right? I came from the past, really? You came from the past? Or from the future? Let's go find your current self right now.
Yeah.
Where would you be doing? Like, you should be living here, right? So, to prove that you're from the future, let's find your current self right now. Oh, I was born in 2052.
No.
Let's wait.
Because, I mean, if they prove that they're really from the future, then we got a problem because we're not real.
Yeah.
We're just a bunch of alternates.
Ooh. I'm from the future.
It means our future's already decided for us.
So,
to a point.
So now, like, before the joke was like, I'm afraid of robots from the future, right? Now the thing is like, I'm afraid of anything from the future.
I wouldn't be afraid of anything from the future.
If anything from the future comes to us, it's just that we're not
It'd be
real.
like the Future War movie. No, those people were Prime 9.
Did you watch it?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Hey, maybe we should do that one next.
We should, because I've seen it already. You need to catch up. Yeah. Let me end this right here, and we'll talk about what we're going to do next time.
Cool.
Thank you for watching this segment of our reviews. I hope you had a great time listening to us. Be sure to subscribe and give us a thumbs up, and we'll see you on the next one. Laters.